can bring the greatest sport from the greatest state into focus. Lone Star Gridiron.
Hey, welcome out to another Lone Star Gridiron videocast. I'm Chris Daly, and we have another action-packed show for you. Eric Weedy is all over the state. He's going to be visiting our #1 team in 3A, as well as one of the top teams in 5A. Plus, we'll have Ron Oswalt with our top teams of the week. All that and more after this commercial break.
Treat your family to Van Gogurt, packed with live and active culture to boost kids' math and reading skills.
It's sure to satisfy your hunger for inspiration.
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Helmet graphics brought to you by Texas High School Helmet Project.
Welcome back to Lone Star Gridiron Videocast. We traveled to Leonard George Stadium to see one of our top teams in 5A, the Spring Westfield Mustangs, take on the Cy Falls Eagles. We'll take you to the action. The Mustangs came out fired up in the first quarter, and junior quarterback Jacoby Walker tells us their game plan was simple.
Our plan was to throw the ball around, soften them up. We knew they couldn't cover us, so we just took the spots they gave us.
Spring Westfield's first drive was topped off with this touchdown pass to Jamez Logan in the back of the end zone. Cy Falls also put together a successful opening drive. The Golden Eagles were led by senior quarterback Colby Gray and had success through the air and on the ground. This game was tied early, but not for long. Senior defensive back Sherrard Daniels sparked the Mustangs with this kick return that put Westfield inside Cy Falls' 10-yard line, and the Mustangs never looked back.
I'm really proud of the kids. You don't ever know what you're going to get till you get out there that first time. And we've got 8 starters back. Go, go, go! So that's 14 young men that had their first opportunity to get under the lights, and I thought they handled it real well.
Back-to-back rushing TDs from junior Roland Hanna, coupled with suffocating defensive play, put the Mustangs in command of this game.
We came out the first half, got off to a great start, and shut down a really good offense. I was really proud of the defense. They stepped up.
And on offense, Jamez Logan led the Stangs with 120 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And Adam Watson wasn't far behind with 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Spring Westfield took a 35-7 lead into the locker room. In the second half, it was the Eagles who were fired up as they drove down the field on Spring Westfield's defense.
I thought they started to come together a little bit as a team, as a little pressure on there, and I think that they showed they were willing to fight to the end no matter what the score. It'd have been easy to quit, and they didn't quit.
But the Mustangs made Colby Gray and Cy Falls earn it. This drive was capped off on 4th and goal as Colby Gray sneaks it in from the 1-yard line. But the Eagles' comeback was stopped short, and Spring Westfield wins big in this statement game.
We showed them that we got a chance to have a chance, and we showed them we got a lot of stuff we got to get better at. So it's tale of 2 halves. We couldn't have played much better the first half.
Final score from Leonard George Stadium: Spring Westfield 42, Cy Falls 27. For Lone Star Gridiron Videocast, I'm Eric Weedy.
1, 2, 3. Thanks a lot, Eric. I know I've been really looking forward to that game. Spring Westfield, that's their first game of the season. I've been wanting to see, is this going to be one of the great Spring Westfield teams? And it sure looks like it. Cy Falls, on the other hand, 0-2, a surprising 0-2, but probably one of the best 0-2 teams around. So I still expect a very long playoff run for those guys. Hey, I want to mention the website again, www.lonestargridiron.com. Get out there, go onto our forums, and let us know your opinions. Share the news, tell us what's going on around the state. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with more Texas high school football action.
Gridiron Warriors. take the field in an epic battle that is larger than life. It is called Texas high school football. Only one show can bring the greatest sport from the greatest state into focus. Lone Star Gridiron.
All right, hey, a quick reminder, you can check us out at Dave Campbell's Texas Football website, which is texasfootball.com, where we're providing all this video and audio content on an almost daily basis out there, so check us out. Now we're going to send things over to Eric Weedy, who's got Navasota taking on Palestine.
Hey Chris, our first featured game for week 1 will feature our #1 team in 3A, the Navasota Rattlers home opener against the Palestine Wildcats.
The Rattlers' high-powered offense was on display for their home crowd. On the first play from scrimmage, Jacoby Stokes hits Gaston Lamascus. And 40 yards later, Navasota has their first lead of the game. But Palestine would not give up without a fight. The Wildcats drove down the field, relying mostly on the run, and capping their opening drive when juniors Olin Terry and E.J. Spurlock connect on this 8-yard touchdown pass to tie the game. Navasota's second drive gave fans their first look at LSU-bound Dexter Pratt. And Texas A&M commit Brandell Jackson. Who got 86 yards receiving on 4 catches.
I know a lot of people think, hey, we're great, but we got to get better. And our goal from day one is get better each week. We got better after our first scrimmage, second scrimmage, first ball game. We just got to keep going one game at a time. I was very proud of our defense, the way they flew around, and well, we were bringing the helmet tonight, caused a lot of turnovers, a lot of fumbles, interceptions, and then, you know, our offense, it was on kind of a spark, and Jacoby Stokes had another great night throwing the football, and well, we got a lot of receivers into the game. Every one of our receivers got involved, and that's kind of where you want to get into a ball game.
Dexter Pratt also had a great night receiving, with 159 yards on only 3 catches. Caps off this drive with one of his 2 touchdowns on the night. And the Rattlers build a 2-touchdown lead. But the Wildcats didn't give up. After a botched punt return, Palestine drives down the short field and Olin Terry sneaks it in from 2 yards out to make this a 1-touchdown game. Navasota's Jacoby Stokes passed for 328 yards and 5 touchdowns, including 3 to Brandell Jackson. Navasota head coach Lee Fedora says there's a reason for scheduling non-district the way they do.
We're taking one game at a time. I know it's going to be a tough district, and that's why I scheduled preseason the way I did. I wanted to see teams with a lot of speed, a lot of athletes.
In the second half, the Rattlers offense poured it on. Antron Harris, Brandell Jackson, and Dexter Pratt all reached the end zone. But more importantly,
for our defense come back and hold them the way they did in the second half, very proud of that.
Navasota wins it over Palestine, 49-14.
I'm proud of you the way you played. Offense great specialty.
And now we'll send it to Ron Oswald with our Week 1 Teams of the Week.
Thanks, Eric. Here are the Lone Star Gridiron Teams of the Week, 1A to 5A. 1A Normandy beat 2A Groveton 54-14 in a landslide.
In 2A, Grandview beat number 27 Troy 31-7.
3A Waco La Vega. The Pirates are always tough. You give me that gold and baby blue any day. They beat number 7 Brownswood 31-7. 4A Denton Geyer. They beat number 11, always well known Stephenville 19-16. They were no match for the Denton squad. 5A Texas' most hated 5A football program, the Galena Park North Shore. They get no love in the Houston or the statewide area. They beat number 22 Aldine Eisenhower 33-14. The Eagles were no match for the Ponies. These are the Lone Star Gridiron Teams of the Week. Back to you, Chris.
Wow. You're kidding me, Ron. The most hated 5A team in Texas. I think that may be a bit much, but I can understand why a lot of these teams might dislike Galena Park North Shore right now, because they have won 72 straight regular season wins. That's a big one. Well, that's about it for today's show. For Ron the Eagle Oswald, Eric Weedy, and everybody at Lone Star Gridiron, I'm Chris Daly, and we'll see you at the game.